Greetings and salutations, and so forth. Welcome to No Platitudes. My name is Peter Lundholm. This is a podcast, and I am tired. I'm extremely tired. Went on a weeknight. Went to go see Mesthetics last night. That's Joe and Brendan from Fugazi. And it was awesome. It was so awesome. It was very life-affirming. You know, those guys they're got to be close to 60, if not 60 or over. And just kicked so much ass, I couldn't even believe it. And the reason I like that, and the reason I find that so life-affirming is because it's a good reminder that life is not, it's not like over, dude. And this is me talking maybe to myself, but for how often dismal I get, the one thing that keeps me going is like the ongoing experiment. And not just creatively and not just whatever. Life in general is just, it's an experiment. Trying to find the right concoction and, you know, the things that make that life that you're in worth sticking around for. And that's what I'm trying to do. And seeing those guys from Fugazi getting up there and just killing. It made me very happy. I was very happy to see it. I'm also very tired, kind of punch drunk. But, hey, that's what we're doing. This is our experiment. We're experimenting with this podcast thing together. We're learning how to use digital audio. We're learning about ourselves. That was corny as fuck. But I think you know what I'm trying to say. So my guest today, Joe Marcinek, my fucking dog. Love that guy. You know, in the scene, in the business, so to speak. I can say that. I can use that term. In the business, you meet a lot of fucking assholes. A lot. And Joe was the furthest thing from that, you know. When I first met him, I was a puny little shitbag in the scene, something that, an identity that I maintained for a pretty good chunk of time. I'm still trying to undo it, actually. But Joe was as cool to me as could be, warm and friendly, and also musically engaging, you know, on stage. And it's crazy to meet somebody and then like 20 minutes later play a show with them, you know, unrehearsed. Yeah, you're playing out of a songbook of sorts, but, you know, you can learn a lot about somebody by how they engage with you on stage, especially in like improvisational music. You know, you get a good smell. You get a good whiff of them. And Joe Marcinek smells good, dude. Jesus. Guys, I'm tired, man. I'm super tired. I got to say this too. There's a lot of edits in the conversation with Joe for a couple reasons. One, I got a little bit carried away a couple times, and I buried a couple people by name. I named names. Like I talked a little bit of shit. So some of that's edited out. Not for my sake. I don't care. I have neither shame nor dignity. But for Joe, who still has to live in society. No, it's not good to talk shit. I don't want to put negativity out there. But the other reason there's some edits is that Joe and I, when we get together, it's like we go off in like a trance, and it's like we're speaking in tongues. Like there's so many just layered inside jokes and references that it's out of control. Like, so I had to edit a little bit of that out, because if anybody heard it, we'd probably be institutionalized, because we were just clowning. The second he sat down across from me at this table, like, we were just immediately fucking around. And it was great, but I tried to make it a listenable podcast experience, and I know we'll do it again. I know he'll be a return guest. There's no way he won't be. It was too much fun. So let's go to it. Here's my discussion with the wonderful and omnipotent Joe Marcinek. This is the publicist talking. Okay.
Do you think that's more of like a visor?
No.
Like metaphorically, which of the hats is closest to the visor?
Yeah, it's the green eye shade thing.
Is that the manager hat?
Yeah, the poker dealers wear.
Yeah, or like the head coach, like the Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
He was a visor guy. What was Matt Nagy? He was one of the Bears coaches. He was a visor guy.
I've heard of sports.
Do you think tour manager is that more of the visor?
No, they're ponytail fanny pack. There's a very thin line between tour manager and like a strip club DJ or porno director.
Kevin Nash from the late 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to derail this podcast at every moment.
Derailing. I know. I can't wait though. Shit. What else? Where are you playing tonight? Not that it matters. I mean, this isn't going to be up tonight, so I guess it doesn't matter. But where?
Tonight. So every Thursday, Rick King does Mom's Place downtown. Ron, our old buddy from the Windy City Inn, they closed. He opened a new club downtown called Mom's Place. Great vibe.
Yeah, I played there in December.
It's always busy because it's right downtown. You got a good, kind of tourists and people just coming in and out.
Yeah.
And so Rick's been doing Thursdays, I want to say since November or December, he's playing every Thursday. And I kind of helped him, just bring the two worlds together is what I like to do.
Yeah.
And so Rick gave me the open invite whenever I'm in town and got the day off, come in and sit in and play the show with him.
Sick.
Yeah, it's
That'd
great.
Be fun. That dude's incredible.
He's a powerhouse.
I saw a video of him soloing a couple weeks ago. Oh, dude.
So he just joined the Schwag.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
The tie-dye is infecting Rick King.
All right. Yeah. Well, I hope he has fun on that adventure. I hope he likes St. Louis.
St. Louis. Taking the train down there.
Yeah. Those were the days. What else, man? All right, so you're doing that tonight. So you got the Dead Funk Summit.
May 2nd.
May 2nd. And then what's
And then so we're doing a record release show in New Orleans during the Jazz Fest down there. It'll be a night show at the Toulouse Theater. And I couldn't get Melvin, so we got George down there. And then we got Dennis Chambers coming to sit in.
Get the
drums.
fuck out of here. You mother...
I know, motherfucker. I don't know which hat that is. That feels like the Uncle Sam hat.
That's a crown you're wearing. That's awesome,
the
dude.
Crown,
Dennis
wow.
Chambers.
Is a crown a hat though?
I mean, this hat is supposed to signify guy who got Dennis Chambers to come do a gig with him. Yeah, you get a crown for that.
Yeah, but
you get a crown for that.
I'm
in
just
my
talking
book,
about
brother.
like the crown in general. Is that considered a hat? It's like the hot dog. Is the hot dog a sandwich?
No.
No one's gonna want to listen to this.
No, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are, because you're on it. Because dude, you're a name, brother.
No, I'm not over. You heard Russo.
You're over. Fuck.
He's what they call a
guy.
Curtain jerker.
I gotta say,
that video made me laugh so hard.
Yeah, people love that shit, and I got the cameo from him, and he was so nice. There's some stuff that I cut around it, building up to when he did his.
There's
intro
more.
For you. Yeah, and he's saying like it's really nice that you're doing this. Making these
full,
videos to entertain
video.
people. You're distracting everybody. It was like really heartfelt, and it was very difficult because
you just wanted to
he's
bury
an
him.
asshole. I wanted to bury him, but it was very sweet. But I cut it out of the video. But anyway, okay. So what's coming up?
What's
like
coming
big
up?
picture wise, man?
We're gonna do the.
There's so many things, dude. There's so many things I wanted to ask you, and I can't think of any of them now.
You didn't make a list?
No.
See, you didn't wear your hat.
No. I stopped wearing. I cut most of my hats out. I narrowed down the collection.
Yeah, you're smart.
Yeah.
Like I said, the hats weigh you down. You can't wear too many of them.
That's true.
So I'm going to do the HVAC Dead and Company after party again. Still feels weird saying Dead and Company. Can't you just say Dead?
I pretty much do.
Yeah. But so we're going to do the after party June 9th and 10th, I think that is.
Sweet.
So that'll be a big one coming up. And so those I started, as well as this album, I started branding like bigger shows as Dead Funk Summit, just as a fun name to make it something bigger.
Yeah.
And so the last 2 years we had, I don't know, like 20 different musicians come through each night. It's like, I feel like I unlocked the cheat code for life or music or whatever by playing with all these different musicians. Is like the concept of competition is fully erased in my head. Because it's impossible to compare one person to the next. And then you start thinking, well, what makes everyone different? They live their life. You know, you lived from the moment you were born, all these different things that happen to you, that is you. So when you go to play music, that informs every decision you make. I'm doing air drums. I know there's no video, but doing air drums. So how hard you hit that crash, that's informed by your whole life. So you can't compare that to anyone else, right? So that makes every day, every moment fucking amazing. Because let's celebrate that and let's build a band around that concept of every night, different people making music a different way. How can you not love that?
Yeah, and I agree, and that was beautifully put. What a lovely sentiment. But there's so much like competitive, resentful, shitty that stuff that I'm guilty of.
I know, and I hate that.
I know, and that's what makes you so
let's
beautiful,
get rid
Joe.
of it. Let's evaporate it.
You're always so fucking
That's
cool.
the cheat code.
You put me over, dude. The first time I met you, you put me over.
Brother.
We were buddies on the spot.
This is
Do you remember the
Grateful
first
Dead
time
and
we
wrestling
Yeah,
mixed into
fuck
one.
it. They knew what they were getting when they see my name on the fucking thing.
Wrestling is dead.
I gotta loosen up then, man. Fuck me. All right. Do you remember the first time we met?
In my head, it was when Departure opened for Terrapin at the Abbey.
That's it.
And you guys asked me to play keys with you.
Yeah, and you were playing keys for Terrapin Flyer, and I always thought you were just a guitar player. And my friend Greg, who's a huge fan of yours, he knew about you before anybody else that I know. He was like, dude, like Joe Marcinek played. You know, he saw that I was opening for Terrapin. He's like, dude, Marcinek is playing with them right now. Like, you gotta like meet that dude, watch him. Like, he's fucking rad. And like during soundcheck or something, it was like, because we were doing the Departure trio.
That was before Josh played with Terrapin.
Yes.
And Packy was on drums?
Yes.
Or were you on drums?
No, Packy was on drums.
You were playing
I was
bass.
on bass, yeah.
That's the craziest lineup.
So, and your keys were just up there, and we were just like,
yeah, I don't
play?
think you
And we
had
were like,
sent me
sure.
any songs or anything.
No, it was
just,
that night.
Yeah, figure it out. And that's what I'm saying. That
And we did weird shit, too. We were doing, like, King Solomon's Marbles, and we did Stratus.
Yeah,
and,
Billy Cobham.
Help on the Way, and, like, pretty, you know, like, hefty shit. And you fucking killed it, and we had so much fun. And, yeah, and we were boys ever since. And I think we did Windy City Inn, like, 2 weeks later. And you were playing keys. What a crazy time. What was that?
2013,
Dude,
10 years
10
ago.
years.
Yeah.
The fuck?
See, we're not young anymore.
Known you for
Pete.
10 years, brother.
Brother.
You were 28 when I met you?
27, because my birthday's not till Saturday. So this could be a birthday pod.
Man, you seemed like a grown man.
It's mainly the beard. If you had a full beard, you would be considered a grown man.
Yeah, I can't get a full beard.
You shave the beard, and you're not a grown man. Isn't it?
I'm
It's
Swedish.
crazy how that works.
Yeah, it is. Mine doesn't grow in certain places. I try. I'm really trying to harvest it, but I don't know, I get the feeling everyone's talking about me behind my back.
Or on the internet. They're going to be in the comment section like, fuck you.
They can... That's fine. That's fine.
I'm having fun.
Good, man. Good. I'm trying to think. What's other shit? My sister and my brother-in-law love you from hearing you on DCB.
Shout out to Paula Bella.
Yeah, he's the man. Saw him last night.
Yeah, how was that?
It was awesome.
Where was it at?
That was at Constellation.
Constellation. Is that the one downtown?
I don't know, man. I need a GPS to get out of my driveway. Sometimes people will be like, is that in the north side of the Blevin Blevin? I'll be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I went where the GPS told me to go. So dependent on technology, but I can't harvest it.
It's the world we're living in, but I feel the same way. You gotta have it.
Yeah, so Paula Bella, he's played with you. He played on one of your records, didn't he?
He didn't play on the record, but we've done many gigs together. We used to play all the time Sunday nights at the House Pub in St. Charles. He sat in with my band. I've sat in with his band. He's been a huge supporter for a long time. Back when he was playing with Old Shoe. I think we met him at this Peace Fest in Michigan. Yeah, well over 10 years.
He's awesome. I'm going to get him on here. Let's call him.
Paul.
Hey, you're on. I'm recording you. I'm recording you talk.
You're putting him on the other side, though. That's good.
Yeah.
It's always nice when you turn the tables.
Who were your first guitar influences? Who do you like?
first guitar influences. So it was like the classic rock train. Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, The Who. I was a big The Who fan. Didn't get the Dead for a long time. It was like the morph. It was like classic rock and blues. Then it shifted into the jam bands. Fish, Widespread Panic, String Cheese, all that. But not. I liked the Dead, but I never really got it until I was on stage with Terrapin at the Abbey Pub.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was just one night, and you finally see the bigger picture, and the way the lyrics of the song, it just all added up. But yeah. So the jam band thing, and then I went to music school, and that just like exploded everything because.
What school did you go to?
I went to Indiana State. Shout out Larry Bird. Down in Terre Haute, Indiana. I was on stage in San Diego 2 weeks ago, and someone threw a Larry Bird card on the stage.
My God, did you keep it?
Of course I did.
Sick.
But it just like it stopped me because of like who just throws a Larry Bird basketball card on stage?
Somebody who knows you very well.
And they did, and so yeah, I was like, shout out Terre Haute. But yeah, so going to music school just opens your eyes to whatever's possible. And at that time, ISU's not a big school, but they had a very contemporary classical program. So there'd be like someone on stage with a vacuum cleaner, and it's concerto for vacuum cleaner and wind ensemble. And there's a chart that even the sheet music for the vacuum is written out. Like seriously, it's crazy. But as someone who's at that time 18 to 21 years old, you're learning about everything, and it's like it totally opens your brain to what's possible. So at the time I'm going through all this, then Brent McPike was my guitar teacher. He says, the big band needs a guitarist. Go down to C118, whatever the hall is. We need a guitarist in the big band. So I sit down, and they give me the big charts, not just normal sheet music. It's like this tall. So already I'm freaked out. And then each beat has a different chord on it. C7, sharp 11, 13, 112.
I'm going to bleep that.
Yeah, definitely don't give out the codes. But yeah, and so then at the same time I'm learning about all this world and classical music, I get into jazz, and then it's over. Like that's a lifelong pursuit right there of just that alone. But then all the subgenres of jazz.
Right.
And then it's cool when...
And the Dead was the gateway to that for you?
No,
to
the
fusion and stuff?
Dead came later.
Like it was later. Okay, interesting.
But it was this solid progression of like classic rock, jam bands, classical, jazz, fusion. And then once you get into the fusion world, you start to realize that the jam bands kind of at the time were doing all of that. Or the good of the jam bands were bringing all that stuff together. And then I, learned about New Orleans and fell in love with that city and everything, all the music down there. And then even coming back to the Dead, that they were doing elements of all those different things.
Yeah.
And so then also bringing back to what I was talking about earlier, it's life, You try to convey your influences, but it's your spin on everything you've experienced. That's your music you put out. And we get so hung up on what's this song I'm going to write, what's the numbers or whatever, that just doing the thing is really the joy. And it's so hard to change your perception, right, to think about it that way. But when are you lost in whatever you're doing? When you're doing the thing.
Yes.
So that's
the only time.
That's when we need to go. Like my safe space is on stage when I'm improvising and not thinking about a damn thing. I spend all day to get to that 20 to 40 minutes, whatever it is. And it doesn't happen to a whole show. If you get it once, you're happy.
Hell yeah.
But when you're in that,
by that.
Yeah, when you're in that moment, nothing else matters. It's pure bliss. I just want to be in that moment all the time.
Yeah.
But you can't be. It's not possible to live in that moment.
I feel like every couple minutes we're almost like it's like we're going back to the top of the show, and I'm going to try to start to fucking interview you, and I just can't. We get together and we just start talking shop.
It's too fun though. That's I think why we're such good friends, even though you can't tell from this pod.
There's going to be so many edits.
I think you should just leave all of it in.
No.
Except for the part in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
From like minute 240 to minute, where are we at now?
45.
Yeah, from 44:38. Like cut everything in the middle out and just replace it with us doing this.
Oh yeah, no, this is going to be a trip. This episode's going to be weird.
I think, do you have a ability to put delay on this?
Yeah, but I'm sure.
Could
but
we
I
do
don't know
this
how.
with like a?
It doesn't need a delay.
And then just make that a loop,
I mean, we could try.
and then the end will just be you playing drums over
I
that.
don't, I don't know how to do that.
All right. Well, that'll be if you ever bring me back.
I'm bringing you back. I'm gonna have to bring you back. This isn't. I'm not gonna be able to post this, dude.
Part 2.
Yeah. Okay. So this will be part 1. That'll be my excuse for keeping it short and why there's a bunch of weird edits. Tell me some more shit, man. So you got the Dead Funk Summit thing coming out, and then
The new record. Yeah. I can't think about it, man. George and Melvin, like, what? How did things process to a point where I have 2 legends of music playing original songs of mine? It's dumb.
fucking rules.
It
It's
doesn't
hustle,
make
bro.
any sense.
It's your drive and your hustle, and the getting lift off and keeping the dream alive and so forth.
Keeping the dream alive.
Yeah, dude.
Honestly, here's some real talk for you. It's not all glitz and glamour. I've been to the pawn shop more times than I'd care to admit, but every time I went in there to pawn my guitar to pay for the gig, I would say whatever it takes to keep the dream alive. Swear to God, I would say that every time. And, it was rough for a good 7-8 years, there'd be those moments where everything's fucking amazing, and then then
You're making a small town for a hot dog and a handshake.
yeah, and then the turnout's not there, and you start questioning everything about what you're doing and why are you doing this. But I pushed through, and I was able to catch a couple of breaks, and in a weird way, it was like the pandemic was the best thing for me. Like slow down. I had to reevaluate. Finally got out of debt. Like, how does that work? I'm not working and I get out of debt. It doesn't make any sense. But it had some amazingly kind and generous people help me out, and and since then it's just been like literally takeoff. And I don't understand. I don't question it. I just keep trying to make people happy because that makes me happy, and it's this weird circle of energy. But you can feel it.
You are a man of the people. You have always been one of us.
One of us. Oh man, this is great.
Yeah, dude.
I'm happy with how this is going.
All right, good. Maybe I won't edit it as much as I think I'm going to have to. I mean, I'm going to edit. I have to edit some of that.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't want to.
This is a nightmare, dude. This is a fucking nightmare.
It's great, though, because honestly, if you think about musicians, artists, anyone kind of in the creative-ish field, this is how our brain works. Like, this is an accurate portrayal of how we think. You're 2 minutes of pure inspiration, not even, like 30 seconds of pure inspiration, and then it's
just shit. Yeah.
Literally, that's how it works. And we go on this weird wavelength, the back and forth of we're focused, we're ready to work, everything's right there, and then, oh, look at that cat over there, or whatever, some stupid fart joke, or, feeling depressed, and then I got to get out of this, and then you feel good again, and then you go right back and forth.
Every day of my life, man. It's every day. It's everything that I do has that same energy.
And so I wonder, as a creative, just anyone that's creative, like, it takes a certain amount of that torment or whatever to bring out the light. Like, if you're just a happy-go-lucky person like Paul Rudd walking through the world, like, do you have something to say if there's nothing?
Well, he's a bad example. Because Paul Rudd fucking is the greatest human being on planet Earth.
He's really handsome.
He's so handsome.
Damn it.
He's so full of light. That dude's got the oil on him, man.
But maybe there's something really dark inside that we don't know.
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
And I just think about, I don't know how well you knew him, but a good friend, Marty Salmon, who passed away last year. One of the most brilliant entertainers, musicians, fucking human being, but he had his demons. And does it take those level of demons to bring out that kind of amazing creative talent? And do we all have it inside of us to a certain degree? And just different people are able to roll with it or compartmentalize it, and use it. Sometimes you can use it to your advantage, where it inspires you to then let it out, or you can use it to destroy you and either go down with it or turn to drinking and doing drugs or whatever it is. I don't know. The wavelength.
It's like the two possible outcomes of that, I guess. And the the sickness or the chasing it addiction, even to something like playing gigs and getting to do these cool things. There's some risk
Every day.
There's some several levels of risk.
Yeah, you're not you're not focusing on your health, and be that physical or mental health. You're usually in a dark area.
Yeah.
It's very late at night.
You're living each day by night.
People are yelling at you.
Yeah.
And for a few moments you feel really happy, but then the rest you feel not so happy.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked up. Your worst stage fright, was it musically or doing the comedy?
Musically.
Okay.
It was the obviously my first like early gigs, like, punk band gigs in high school, like every one of those seemed high stakes,
Yep. Oh yeah.
Even if it was in a basement, just being up in front of people, like this is literally happening.
Palms sweating.
Yeah, but the worst in adulthood was the first time with Melvin.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like kind of indescribable, like out of body type level of panic, and and ironically, my first one with him went very, very well. It was just downhill from there.
The second time wasn't as good.
I didn't have my shit together. No, nor was the fucking 17th time. Like, it's just like I didn't. I was on drugs at the time for one thing, but also like I was not a practiced. I don't know. I just didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was super cool, and it was one of the highlights of my entire life. I hope I get to do it again somehow, some way. Like, which I've explored ways of doing so, but that shit's all just ideas floating in the air. But
well, yeah, when you work with someone of that, even like not just talent, but just like respect level, you put things into a whole different idea, and it's like you just kind of hold on for the ride. But the more, if you're lucky, the more you start to work with these kind of people, you learn that, like I was saying earlier, they're just another person, and they don't have some secret, toolbox that we don't have. We all have the same tools. The biggest thing is they have the confidence.
Right. They've accumulated the tool of, success, which gives you then the, I don't know, is using the word pretense generally bad, but it gives you the context of like your life. It's like I'm more comfortable on stage at this point in my life. I'm more comfortable on stage than I am like sitting here talking 100%, to you. Like 100%. By a lot. And I think that's kind of like an important distinction to make, is like I'm comfortable on stage because that is the reason I am there. I am in the employment of this band in this venue tonight, and I'm going to go to that stage, and then I can hide in between. I'm not hanging out. It's not like,
the social aspect of music needs to be taught almost as much as the theory and everything behind chords and rhythms and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's how you deal with it. And for better or worse, I've found the big turning point in my career is being, comfortable maybe isn't the right word, but accepting of the audience. And realizing that connection is what's going to take you to the next step. So you have to fight it. I know a lot of people aren't this way, that they just are scared when you go out in public, but those are the people that are going to buy tickets to come see you. And if you want to play in a band, professionally, even as a hobby, you need an audience. No, unless you're just live streaming in the basement, and that's totally cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to generate an audience, you have to build a connection with them, and you have to give them a reason to care for you. And even the best players in the world have trouble finding an audience. But the people that can go out there and look your audience in the eye, talk to them, give them a reason to care about you, they're going to come see you, because now they've met you. They've shook your hand. You've told a story. They've told you a story. There's something tangible and real about that.
Yeah.
And then you multiply that by every show you play and the more people you go talk to. And so many bands and so many people just, all right, play the set, and then I'm going to go hide in the green room. And that's what I do. It's cool if you're Melvin Seals, but if you're trying to establish a career, you have to get over that, and you have to go out there and meet the people. Think about all the different punk bands. How do they get so big? They hang out at the merch table, and they hang with the crowd. How many other bands, just hide in the green room and never talk to anyone? And they never get to that next level. I'm not talking about you because you're not leading the Pete London Holman band. I always wondered how you said your last name.
It's Lundholm.
London Holmans. That sounds like a hardware store down on Lower Wacker Drive or something.
Yeah.
Stop on by the London Holmans.
Yeah, one of those Swedish hardware stores.
We got a 2 for $5 sale going. So yeah, I don't know. Where were we at?
Hiding in the green room.
Yeah,
I prefer
don't
that.
hide in the
Leave
green
me alone,
room.
dude. Don't look at me.
But
Stay away from me.
when you play music, you like to play music for people.
Of course,
correct?
yeah, of course. And I'm just kidding around. I'm with you on what you're saying. You're dead on about it. It served you so fucking well. You're making towns, dude. You're playing with people.
But it's not just me. This is something that's happened throughout history.
Yeah, of course. It's evergreen, that concept.
And it's the word of mouth. Like, yeah, everyone thinks you can just put a video on the internet and get famous, and maybe some people can and do that. But the old tried and true method of winning your fans over one by one is never going away.
Yeah.
And unless you're the top of the top elite talent, there's so much music and there's so much shit out there right now that what makes one band different than another? Well, if I actually know the people in this band, I'm going to care about that one band 100% more. I might like whatever, band X. I'm not going to say any names, but if I actually know the guitarist in band Y, I'm going to go see them every time they come through because that's a friend. We've shared a moment. We had a drink together. We had a laugh. He signed my T-shirt or whatever it is. Like, there has to be that tangible connection. It's like Avatar. I knew in my head, don't say it, but I'm like, it's too good not to say.
So I don't get the reference.
So I'm going to try to explain Avatar to Pete on his podcast.
No.
So the Na'vi, they're on a different planet. It's a moon planet.
Thanks everybody for joining us.
And they take their hair.
Really?
And they put the hair with the hair of the
Marcinek
animals.
will be coming to a town near you
and they
soon.
connect, and then they form a bond. And that's what we're doing as musicians with our audience.
Definitely not editing that
I'm
out.
giving you the gold here, Pete.
That's pretty good. I'm going to do a new podcast. Joe Marcinek explains movies.
That you've never wanted to see.
To Pete Lundholm. It's not that I don't want to see it. I never made the leap.
What about the 1996 thriller The Rock?
Loved it.
All right.
Don't remember any of it, but loved it.
It's so good.
I know he sticks himself in the chest at the end.
Yeah.
And lands on a rock.
The gas.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage.
So while they were filming that, Sean Connery was such a bad mofo. He had them set up a condo on Alcatraz. He had his own, not condo, but whatever you call it, like private trailer where he could hang out. And then he would go golf for half the day.
On Alcatraz?
No.
Or you take a ferry off?
Yeah,
of
he'd
there
go off. But he had to have his own personal living space on the rock.
What a nut.
That's when you know you're over, Pete.
Yeah, dude. Well, you're over, and you're talking about winning people over on the streets. You're doing that. This is me trying to pivot back into radio guy mode. What do you got? What's up for the summer? You got tour dates? Anything out? No, everybody knows where to find you on the web. JoeMarcinekBand.com.
Refresh coming soon. Thanks to my friend Lauren Joy.
Nice.
So many great musicians. I should just start putting people over.
Put
Lauren
'em over,
Joy,
dude.
out of Boulder, Colorado, amazing singer, songwriter, and she's helping me with my website. So check her out, and pretty soon I'll have a new website. Working on new music all the time. I got 3 records in the can.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, stoked about that. Usually we're trying to figure it out, so having a couple clips loaded, ready to go, it's a good problem.
Unreal.
I got to go out and work with Alan Evans from Soul Live at his studio in Western Mass. So we did a full record out there with Chris Yonker and Nate Edgar. And this is really fun stuff. So excited to put that one out. But we got to get through the Dead Funk Summit.
Yeah, dude.
Listen to me. We got to get through this record with George and Melvin before we can get to the good stuff. Just cut me off now. You feeling good?
You said it all, man.
I think we're
You
good.
said it all.
I'm feeling pretty
You
good.
said everything, dude. There's nothing more that can be said again.
Who should we bury now?
Let's bury some more people.
That should be a segment, the bury corner. Should put someone over at the beginning and bury someone at the end.
God.
Do you have like running segments yet?
Not yet,
Is it
but
still too new?
I'm sure they'll happen. I'm sure that'll come. This is gonna eventually just turn into like a morning zoo, fucking radio show. Like,
Man cow?
yeah, it's gonna be man cow. Joe, I'm so sorry that this has been the worst fucking podcast interview of all time.
I think it's great.
There are so many edits. There are so many mistakes made.
But the mistakes are part of who we are, Peter.
Yes.
And that is warts and all, what makes us, what makes you Pete, what makes me Joe. And we're not going to hide from it. We're
gonna hide from it. I'm gonna edit it out.
We're going to put our mistakes in front of the whole world to show.
Okay. All right, fine.
Except for a few of them.
Except for a few of them that are definitely going to get cut. Man, thank you so much for coming over and for talking to me and putting up with me and for being super cool to me all these years. And onward and upward.
June 9th and 10th.
Yeah, I'll be there, dude.
Pete's rocking with us.
Just let me know if I need to do something about gear.
Backline's already provided.
All right. All right, here we go, folks. June 9th and 10th.
HVAC.
I'm going to be fucking with JMB.
We're going to be rocking.
Dead and Company. Post-show. Look at that. I don't want to end the podcast with me putting myself over. What are your next dates in the next month or so?
When's this going to drop?
This will drop probably tomorrow, March 17th.
So I'll be in Dunedin, Florida for the Dunedin Spring Beer Jam. That's March 22nd to the 26th. Then I go down to Myrtle Beach, April 1st, Vibe Time Music Festival. Then we're in Key West, April 7th to the 9th. Austin, Texas with George Porter, April 15th to the 16th. And then the Big Dead Funk Summit album release, May 2nd in New Orleans. So check that out.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming, Joe. You're the man. I love you. And
let's hit the springs at the same time. On 3 or 1, 2, 3, spring?
1, 2, 3, spring.
1, 2, 3.
Thanks, Joe.
That's so good.
See what I mean? Edits. So many edits. Thanks again, Joe. Thanks for coming on. We had fun. Make sure keep up with Joe Marcinek on social media, joemarcinekband.com. Keep up with me at Pete Lundholm. That's what it is on Instagram. Or I don't know. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already there. I don't give a fuck. Leave me alone. April 7th, I'll be at Teddy O'Brien's Northwest Corner, First Fridays. And then June 9th and 10th, Joe Marcinek Band. I'll be up there with them for the Dead and Company after party. So I still, you know what? I haven't thought of a closing line yet. So I'm just going to say until next time, bye.